Hello everyone and welcome back to another Universe Sandbox 2 video, and today we've got more of an interesting sort of video because we're not really going to be doing much with the planets today actually, because if you didn't know, it's actually the 40th anniversary of Voyager 1 today, so yeah, we'll do sort of like a little tribute video sort of for Voyager 1, since it is, in my opinion, a very legendary space probe along with its twin Voyager 2, which, if you didn't know, Voyager 2 was actually launched in the 20th of August, or the 20th of August 1977, so Voyager 2 was actually launched first, which is a very interesting thing. But yeah, we're going to be focusing on Voyager 1, because this is the main legend here that visited Jupiter and Saturn, because it did get there first before Voyager 2, so yeah, look at this bad boy right here. Lovely old school looking space probe. Yeah, this is definitely the coolest looking space probe if you ask me, because it just looks so much cooler than like the Juno and the New Horizons and all that. It just looks so much cooler. Like, I love the long bit that sticks out from it. That it just looks so cool. I don't really know what that is because I'm not a aerospace engineer, but yeah, look at that. I think that I actually don't know what that is. We've got the radar dish. The camera is here somewhere, I think. Somewhere. Oh, it's gone. Dang it. We've got to zoom out, or zoomed in too much. Yeah, the camera's at that top point somewhere, I believe. So, yeah, good old Voyager 1. So, yeah, this was launched on today's date, which is the 5th of September 2017. So, it was launched in the 5th of September 1977. So, yeah, a long way before I was born. So, yeah, look at this guy. So, remember, it launched in 1977, but then there was a very 2-year wait until it arrived at its first destination. So we're gonna slide down to simulation right here where it is. So whereabouts are we? So in 1979, Voyager 1, which is right here. So yes, this is 1979 now. So 2 years on. So Voyager 1, as we can see here, we'll rotate it the right way up because I think this is the way it's meant to be. So it arrived at Jupiter. So yeah, looking good. So this is sort of doing like a journey of Voyager 1 in this video. So yeah, look at this. So Voyager 1 then arrived at Jupiter in 1979, and it got the very first pictures of Jupiter close up. So obviously this was the first thing to properly visit Jupiter, I believe, because I know about the Pioneer probes, but I don't know if they really got any detailed images. I think they did. I don't actually know actually. So if anyone knows anything about the Pioneer probes, because I don't know about them. So if you know about the Pioneer probes and what their main sort of thing was, tell me, because that'd be interesting. But yeah, Voyager 1 arrived at Jupiter and got the very first pictures of Jupiter and all its moons close up. So remember, the Voyager, I believe, actually got some good pictures of the moons. But even if Pioneer did come to Jupiter, which I don't know if it did or not, it definitely didn't get pictures of the moon. So yeah, if you didn't know as well, the scientist, I think he was called Galileo. I can't remember his other name or first name, I think. But yeah, he found out that there was 4 moons orbiting Jupiter. So these moons were Io, and then we got Europa, which is there. So Io, Europa. Then we got Ganymede, which is the largest moon in the solar system, and then Callisto. And these are known as the Galilean moon, or Galilean moons. I don't know how to pronounce that. But yeah, the Galilean moons. So there's the 4 original moons, and the way he spotted these was he saw 4 dark dots that sometimes went across the face of Jupiter. So if we have a look here, we should see some big dots. We just need to wait for Europa to come around. Yes, let's just use Europa for instance. So we'll just move it up in its orbit a little bit, so like this, and there should be a shadow which is crossing Jupiter. Yeah, so Galileo spotted that there was 4 different shadows that crossed Jupiter every few days. As obviously these moons take a few days to go around, I believe, Jupiter. How long does it take? Yeah, 3 days for Europa to go around Jupiter. So yeah, he discovered there was 4 moons going around Jupiter. And then these were also obviously named, and they're very large moons. They're a very large bunch of moons, which is pretty cool. But yeah, we got the very first pictures of these guys with the Voyager 1 space probe. So there's Io right there. So Voyager 1 got a very good close-by of Io according to the simulation here, as we can see. Very nice close picture. And I believe, yeah, I don't know if it is Voyager 1 or Voyager 2, but they captured a eruption on Io, because if you didn't know, Io is a very volcanic object. It's more geologically active than Earth is, so it has more going on, like all the volcanoes. And Voyager 1, I believe, captured a photo of a volcano erupting, and the scientists at NASA originally didn't know what that was. They thought it may be another moon, maybe it was behind Io, but then they found out it was a volcanic moon. So yeah, it was just a volcano erupting. So there's a good flyby of Io there with good old Voyager 1. Then I don't know, did it go around Jupiter for a bit? Let's have a look here. I don't know where the probe is going. Because I don't know, because I'm pretty sure it orbited Jupiter. I don't think it went straight onto Saturn after it left Jupiter. But yeah, I don't know where it's heading. It may have gone to Saturn actually. Oh, there's Voyager 2 as well. So there's a. See, Voyager 2 didn't actually make it yet. So yeah, that's why Voyager 1 is the star of this video. So yeah, it got some detailed pictures of all the stuff, or all of the stuff. So we've got the Jupiter as the main feature here. Then we've got all of the 4 moons, and then it probably discovered some of these guys as well. I don't know for sure, but I think the main 4 moons were the main stars of the show, apart from Jupiter. But yeah, it probably did discover some other moons along the way there. I don't know for sure, but yeah, there we go. So that's good. So good old Voyager 1. Then after it visited Jupiter, obviously it started to head to Saturn. So if we look here, then we probably speed up time a bit. So we'll speed it up, and then yeah, it left the Jupiter system completely. So obviously Jupiter's got a ton of moons. So it left Jupiter, and then it completely went all the way this way until it rendezvoused with Saturn a lot later. So we're going to go ahead and go on to that now. So Voyager 1 and Saturn in 1980. So it only took a year for it to arrive at Saturn and to discover some of the coolest moons of all time, if you ask me. So here it is approaching Saturn. Oh, where's the rings? We've got to add the rings in, because I remember seeing like a sort of like documentary on this. People were very, very hyped to see Saturn close up because of the rings. People really love the rings around Saturn, because we already knew it had rings from a long way back. So yeah, we knew it had rings, but when we finally got to see these guys close up with Voyager 1 as it approached Saturn for the very, very first time, I'm pretty sure everyone watching that tape, the live sort of tape or pictures that were coming in, they must have been so hyped to see this for the very first time, because there it is, the planet with the biggest rings in the solar system. Look at that. It's just a beauty to look at as Voyager 1 approaches. So it would have got some shots. There's its camera there. So it would have got some shots like this, and we can see Titan there as well. So yeah, we'll move on to that in a bit. But yeah, it approached Saturn, and I'm pretty sure everyone watching that video was just amazed by just the beauty in those rings. Because yeah, seeing that for the first time it was pretty much the first time in history we saw Saturn as a close-up object. So yeah, it saw Saturn, and here's a close by, and it also got a very close look at the Saturn's moon Titan. So if you didn't know, this is probably the most interesting moon in the solar system, if you ask me, or probably definitely one of the top 5. Yeah, this is definitely one of the most interesting moons in the solar system, not just because of its size, because we originally thought this was the biggest moon in the solar system, and Ganymede was second largest, but then they checked it over, and Ganymede was actually found to be larger. So we originally thought this was the largest moon in the solar system, and it definitely deserved to have that title, because it was just cool, because obviously it had all the features that a planet would need. It's got its atmosphere made of methane, I believe. Was it methane? I know it had methane oceans. Oh no, it was... What was it? It was nitrogen. Yeah, it was an atmosphere of nitrogen, and that sparked the scientists at NASA saying, "Oh, this is a very interesting body." But sadly, Voyager's cameras couldn't penetrate through the clouds, so the only images we could get was just of an orange body, an orange clouds and stuff. So it's basically an orange version of Venus, and obviously a cold version as well. So yeah, there you go there. Yeah, but we got a very good close-up, as this simulation shows. So it had a very good flyby of Titan there, and then it started to approach Saturn itself, and it also discovered or got some close-ups of a lot of Saturn's other moons, so we can line them all up here. So there we go. There's good old Neptune, the coolest planet, obviously. There we go. So there's Titan. It's got all these dwarf planets. That's kind of annoying, actually. Are the moons of Saturn even here? Actually, we'll just find them manually. Actually, it'll be easier. So we'll go on trails here. Actually, we'll just use labels. Actually, so. Where's Saturn at? There's Saturn there. Where's Voyager 2? There's Voyager 2. See, Voyager 2 was still pretty much halfway in between Saturn and Jupiter, because it was a lot further behind. But yeah, there we are. So we're going to go and have a look here. So it also discovered, or both of the probes also got some very close-ups of Mimas. So this was a very interesting moon, because this brought up the very first theories on why Saturn could have its rings. So you see that impact mark there? People, or the scientists, I believe one of the theories to this day actually is, look at the size of that. It looks like objects were getting struck by very, very large, or the moons, I should say, were getting struck by very, very large asteroids. And these asteroids were so large they could have almost torn that entire object apart, just because of the impact force. If two objects of similar size collide and they're near a planet, they could destroy each other. So that brought up the theory, what if a moon was a small moon, so maybe smaller than Mimas maybe, was actually struck by a very large asteroid or another moon, and then it exploded. And instead of its gravity pulling it back together, just because we had because it was so close to Saturn, Saturn's gravity spread out all of the parts of the moon and formed the rings. But yeah, I've mentioned this in another video about like the formation of Saturn's rings. So if you want to like learn about that more in detail, then check that out. But yeah, because there's multiple theories. We don't know for sure what these rings came from. It could be from a planet that got too close to Saturn. It could have been from a moon colliding with an asteroid. Or there's just multiple theories. So if you want to go more into detail of that, go check it out, because that'll be interesting. Yeah, go Google it or just look at it on YouTube for videos, because I've made a video on it as well. So yeah, Voyager 1 got a very nice close by of Saturn here, and they also, the guys at NASA, I believe, they also wanted to fly the probe in between the planet and the rings, but at the time, because obviously this was 1980, they didn't know for sure if it was a good idea. So poor old Voyager didn't get to go in between the planet and the rings, because we didn't know if there was more rings in between the planet and the rings, or the main rings that we couldn't see, so we didn't want to risk flying the probe in there and ruining the mission with both probes, because they could have flown both of them there if they wanted to, but I believe they didn't, because they did not want to damage the probes, because obviously this was the 70s, the probes, or the 80s I should say now, the probes probably weren't as easy to control as modern day ones are, I'm assuming. So yeah, so there we go, there's Voyager 1 there, having a very nice trip of Saturn. But then, this was an interesting thing, as it left Saturn, we got a very interesting look at Saturn, because leaving Saturn, just look at that view. I've seen this so many times in like simulations on YouTube and stuff of just when Voyager left Saturn. That is nice, because obviously it went upwards, Voyager 1. So we saw Saturn from behind the rings. We saw it from behind, because obviously when we've looked at the when we've looked at Saturn and its rings before, we've only looked from Earth, and we've always seen Saturn from the front side. But now we've actually been able to look at Saturn from behind, and we can just see how the Saturn blocks out its rings when because obviously there's a shadow. It basically eclipses all of the rings, so it makes a very cool look there. And where's Voyager 1 gone? Where's Voyager 1? Where is it? Oh, it's here somewhere. Let's just zoom in then. Oh, there it is. Can't really see it, but yeah, there's Voyager 1, if you want to see it. So yeah, so we got a very nice look of Saturn there, and also I believe we discovered that there's actually more rings that we can't see, and you have to look behind Saturn, because they're so thin and they're so invisible, we can't see them with the naked eye, that you can only see them from behind Saturn because the sunlight lights them up. So in theory, these are the rings that we can see with our visible eyes, or we can see these from Earth with our eyes, but there's actually another set of rings which are a little, or there's like more rings that we cannot see from behind Saturn, so we could just go and extend this out and do that. So we can't see these rings from the front, but from behind we can see these rings that spread out more. So if you didn't know, yeah, if you look at Saturn, just Google Saturn, or Saturn from behind on YouTube or Google or something, and you should be able to see a picture of the rings of Saturn like glowing from, yeah, just get a behind, try and find a behind picture of Saturn, and you could see something like this. Because yeah, Saturn did have more rings from behind that we could see, because obviously seeing them from the perspective of Earth or in front of Saturn, the sunlight dims them all out, but if you look from behind you can see them because of the shadows and stuff like that. But yes, very interesting stuff, Saturn. But yeah, so after 1980, Voyager 1 left Saturn, and it was never to be seen again, because if you look here, Voyager 1, it went upwards, because obviously Voyager 2, if you didn't know, it went to Uranus and Neptune, but Voyager 1 didn't do that. It just went straight upwards. So as we can see here, it, instead of going forwards towards the other one, it's sort of going upwards, as you can see. Like if we just look at the orbits of the solar system, look, they're all relatively flat, but Voyager 1 here is actually going upwards, so we can't really see it, but yeah, there it is. So it's actually going up. But if we look at Voyager 2, so now we'll actually head to the present day, because obviously this was Voyager 1's last debut, was pretty much at Saturn. So if we go to the modern day now, so Voyager 1 and 2 in 2017, so we're now on, yeah, the first of, well, I don't know if that's, what day is this? Local time? PM. I don't know if that's, is that January the 2nd, or is it February the 1st? I don't know. I don't know which time, because in the UK we have the, I think we have the day before the month, but I think Americans have the month before the day in dates like that. But yeah, so anyways, going back on point, as you can see, Voyager 1 is still heading upwards to this day. So this is where it is right now. So it's further than the orbit of Eris now, and it's basically very, very far out. It's not as far as Sedna yet, but it is almost as far as the orbit of 2012 VP113 here. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. Yeah, so Voyager 1 right now is just in deep space pretty much. It's pretty much left the solar system. Well, in theory it hasn't, because Sedna, as you know, its orbit spreads out a lot further than this. Because obviously Sedna goes all the way out here. So Voyager 1, if you ask me, I'd class it as in the solar system, but I know a lot of people saying, oh, it's in interstellar space now. I can see why they would say that, because it is out of the sun's grasp. But in theory it isn't, because Sedna does go all the way out here, and Sedna is still in sun's grasp. And they're not mentioning Planet 9 if it exists as well. That's very far out. So yeah, here's Voyager 1 to this day. So it's just complete darkness, because it's too far away from the sun. And it is travelling at 17 kilometers a second, apparently. I wonder how many miles or kilometers an hour. So it's travelling at 61,185 kilometers an hour right now. So that is very fast. This is the fastest ever man-made object, I think. How about what about Voyager 2? Is that going faster? Or is Voyager 2 going faster? Voyager 2 is 53,000. So yeah, Voyager 1 is travelling quicker according to this. I don't know if that's for sure. I don't know if is it Voyager 1 or Voyager 2 is faster? I don't know. But yeah, according to this, Voyager 1 is travelling faster. So here is the lonely Voyager 1, and it is sadly running out of power soon. I think by 2020, so 2020, the year obviously, I think Voyager 1 we will lose Voyager 1 and Voyager 2, because they just run out of battery and they're not anywhere near the sun anymore. So their mission is complete. It's been complete for a long time. But yeah, they're just travelling in deep space right now. That is kind of sad, actually. It would have been cool if we could get these guys back, or just leave them in orbit. But the same reason what they're doing with Cassini is they don't want to contaminate any moons. That's why they're crashing Cassini into Saturn. So there will be a video on that when that does happen. Because, yeah, rip Cassini. But, yeah, also rip Voyager, because Voyager is going to die soon. It's just going to run out of power, and it's just going to be drifting in space forever. So, yeah, poor Voyager 1. How far is it from the sun? Can we see? Is it say anything here? So let's just get a rough idea. So Voyager 1 is about 300 astronomical units plus, so about 300-ish. That's not for sure, because I don't know the exact one, but it's continually moving, so you can't really put an exact distance on it. But yeah, there you go. So that is poor Voyager 1 now. And obviously Voyager 2 obviously went on to Uranus and Neptune, so that's why it's a little further behind. But yeah, this video is about Voyager 1, since it is the 40th anniversary today. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this sort of little tribute video to Voyager 1. I think I did a good job of it. I'm not really the best at doing more educational, explorational videos. We just like to have around or mess around and have fun, just doing stuff with the solar system. But I think this was I think I did a good job with this. Tell me what you guys think. Did I do a good job with this video? Because I'm not really the best at making educational stuff, but yeah, I think this was a good. And obviously, if you guys want to research more on Voyager 1 and what they did and what they found out, go Google it or check out the NASA website. I'm pretty sure they'll keep you covered with all the information on Voyager 1 and all the things it discovered, or just check out a documentary on it, because you'll probably find them around somewhere, documentaries on what the Voyager probes found and discovered and where they are now. So yeah, there you go, guys. So hopefully you will enjoy this video, and please say how well you think I did in this video, because like I said, I'm not the best at making these sort of types of videos, but yeah, I think I did a good job. So yeah, there we go. So hopefully you guys all enjoyed. Make sure you did hit that subscribe button, leave a like, help us on the journey to 1,100 subscribers. Let's still see if we can hit that goal of 1,100 before September the 10th, because that would be awesome. We're closing in. We're less than 30 subscribers away now, so we're less than 30 people from the next milestone. That is insane, because we only hit 1,000 like last week or the week before. So we are really rocketing our way in the numbers. So yeah, that is that. So yeah, all good. So there we go. So yeah, like I said, make sure you all have a good day. Subscribe, leave a like, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Universe Sandbox 2 video. And today we've got more of an interesting sort of video, because we're not really going to be doing much with the planets today, actually. Because if you didn't know, it's actually the 40th anniversary aerospace engineer. But yeah, look at that. I think that I actually don't know what that is. We've got the radar dish. The camera is here somewhere, I think. Somewhere. Oh, it's gone. Dang it. We've got to zoom out, or zoomed in too much. Yeah, the camera's at that top point somewhere, I believe. So yeah, good old Voyager 1. So yeah, this was launched on today's date, which is the 5th of September 2017. So it was launched in the 5th of September. This is the main legend here that visited Jupiter and Saturn, because it did get there first before Voyager 2. So yeah, look at this bad boy right here. lovely old school looking space probe. Yeah, this is definitely the coolest looking space probe if you ask me, because it just looks so much cooler than like the Juno and the New Horizons and all that. It just looks so much cooler. Like, I love the long bit that sticks out from it. That it just looks so cool. I don't really know what that is because I'm not a 1977, so yeah, a long way before I was born. So yeah, look at this guy. So remember, it launched in 1977, but then there was a very 2-year wait until it arrived at its first destination. So we're going to slide down to simulation right here where it is. So whereabouts are we? So in 1970 anniversary of Voyager 1 today. So I'm going to do sort of like a little tribute video, for Voyager 1, since it is, in my opinion, a very legendary space probe along with its twin Voyager 2, which, if you didn't know, Voyager 2 was actually launched in the 20th of August 1977, so Voyager 2 was actually launched first, which is a very interesting thing. But yeah, we're going to be focusing on Voyager 1, because this is the